let's get into our good, bad, and brainless
All
for
right,
this week.
all right, cousin Jay.
There was an awful lot of good.
I
A lot
agree
of
with you.
good this
There
week.
was a lot of good this week. But what stood out the most for you?
Gunther. That dude was freaking, I'm going to, pardon the expression, he was a beast.
Yeah.
He lasted over an hour and like, looked like a freaking superstar in the Royal Rumble match.
I agree with you, but I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to say both the men and women's Royal Rumble matches. Gunther really was the workhorse. He was the MVP of the men's match. Rhea Ripley, you can't take away what Rhea Ripley did in that match. She lasted since number one. She won from number one, and she had probably the most impressive elimination in a Royal Rumble to win a Royal Rumble / Battle Royal match ever. Sorry, Brody King. Even when you put a headlock sleeper hold on Darby Allin and eliminated him from the Battle Royal, which I still, number two, it wasn't as cool as Rhea Ripley doing what she did. I thought that was awesome, and both Royal Rumble matches earned my good for this week.
Yeah.
What do you got for your bad?
I'm going with the hot potato TNT title. You know, I don't mind changing championships, but like when you're doing it specifically, like, well, we're in the home city of this person. So let's give them the title only to give it back to the other person, a month later. I don't love that idea. Like, as much as I don't dislike the idea of having somebody win in their hometown and getting that mega pop.
Yep.
But don't just
You're
take
lessening the title
back. Yeah.
You're lessening the
title.
title.
Nothing against Samoa Joe at all. But you have degraded your TNT title.
The TNT Championship looks like shit, and I'll tell you, Darby Allin does too, because he came in to defend the title more than once or twice. Remember when he said, what was it, Nick Wayne? Hey, Nick Wayne, I'm going to defend this title against you, and then 3 weeks later, Joe takes it from him. It's going to be even better when Wardlow, who came back on Wednesday, wins the title back from Joe in like a month and a half. And then Scorpio Sky can win in a month and a half after that, and then Sammy Guevara, and then just be a revolving door of freaking TNT champions. But for me, I'm giving the Pitch Black match my bad for this week.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I love Bray Wyatt. I do. I have all of his entrance songs on my phone. And I'll tell you right now, the best thing about him returning is that I might low-key have I might be a fan of Orange Code, that the people who sing his last two entrance songs. Yeah. That Shatter song, I must hear it like 7 times a day. That match was just, I can't. Jay, he's a movie star. He's a Hollywood horror film bad person. He's not a professional wrestler. He doesn't wrestle like his dad, but he cuts promos like his grandfather.
Right.
I'm sorry. And I did think that the tights were cool and the neon lights were cool and the stuff like that. I thought that was a nice element to it. But a squash match and just he no-sold everything. Ugh. It had a lot of Fiend feel to it, so I had to give it my bad. when you're running late to work and the guy in front of you in line is buying a whole roll of lottery tickets. When it's 2 minutes to post and the guy in front of you is betting 10 superfectas 3 weeks down the road. But yeah,
Tim, Dom has the world's greatest mullet since Billy Ray Cyrus. And Stephen Belichick.
So what do you got for brainless? That's what I want to know.
Nia Jax. I'll just leave it at that.
For the record, I was going to give Nia Jax my brainless. Hell, I was going to give whoever it was who brought her in on Saturday my brainless for this week. But something much worse happened this week. During the opening match between Hangman Adam Page and Jon Moxley, Spoiler alert, Jon Moxley bleeds.
We have a reel about that.
And it's not even the fact that he bled, because you already know it's going to happen anyway. It's the fact that the camera caught him taking the blade out of his mouth and then cutting himself in the head. I don't really say that I blame Jon Moxley as much as I blame the person who was in the truck that thought it was a good idea to show it. Because you know, the fans who watch this show know, the 9,000 people who watch AEW every week know, and I know that if that happened in WWE, that person would have been fired, unless it was Bucky Beaver. That is just bad. And you should, as somebody who is a producer in television, you should know that is a bad look. That is bad. That is bad presentation.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I really had a problem with that. Oh my God, he's bleeding again. So the fact that it was just bad timing on the cameras and somebody fucked up.
Yeah.
I had to give them my brainless. Otherwise, it would have been Nia Jax.